The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
Hi, this is Brad Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Toiletside Wrestling Talk. She began her in-ring career in 2019, trained under Michael Richard Blaze and Tyson Kidd, and has worked for such promotions as Real Canadian Wrestling, Can-Am Wrestling, Force Pro Wrestling, and is the current RCW Women's Champion. Along the way, she shared the ring with the likes of Stephen Crow, Taryn from Accounting, actress Sarah Michelle Gellar, Heavy Metal, Hurricane Katarina, Zoe Sager, and I could go on, but I'm not going to. So let's welcome today's guest, someone who's never turned down a role in a major motion picture. I give you Ava Lawless. Please say that was you.
That was me, yeah.
Good. Hello, Ava. Thank you for coming on tonight. It's something that really gives me anxiety in the first 90 seconds of an interview, praying that I didn't screw up and it's not that person. Okay. All right. I thank you for coming on a Tuesday evening. I appreciate it. Before I get into a interview part, I just had a random question. Do you design your own gear?
I kind of do and I kind of don't. There's been some pieces that I've designed and some pieces that I haven't.
Okay, so do you can you go to someone and they have a cool design or idea and you can just buy it like that?
Yeah, definitely.
And then is it more fun doing your own?
I feel like it's more fun because I can put exactly what I vision right down onto paper. But I also think it comes with the problem of maybe me being too much of a perfectionist and wanting it exactly a certain way. Whereas if I purchase something that's already made, I probably already like it enough to not really have
When do you start, when does a pro wrestling trainee, for example, start thinking about their gear in relation to how they want to come off?
I think everybody's a little bit different. I've only lived my experience, so I can only speak for myself, but I'm the type of person that thinks the little things matter. So I've thought about gear and music and facial expressions and hair far before I even knew how to do a front roll. So
okay.
I think having the full package in mind helps the audience believe in you more too.
Okay. So did you grew up in Calgary?
No, I grew up in Ottawa, Ontario, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So what's Ottawa known for? I come from Chicago, so pizza and wind. What's going on there?
Ottawa's known. It's known for being the capital of Canada, and it has the Parliament buildings, and it's very government central. It's also known for the Rideau Canal, which is a super long canal that you can skate on in the winter.
Cool.
And I think that's it. Maybe Tom Green.
Totally. Do you guys have bad winters?
Yeah, of course.
Have you had snow already?
Oh yeah, tons of it.
We had like a light dusting the other day, and normally we get, shovelable, an amount where you have to shovel. So did you live like in like the city of Calgary or like a surrounding area?
In Ottawa or Calgary?
Ottawa, excuse me. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
so
okay.
ignorant, by the way. You probably figured that out already.
No, you're fine. I moved to Calgary when I was 19, but when I lived in Ottawa, I was pretty close into the inner city. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And were your parents both from the area?
No, my dad moved to Canada from Italy when he was a young boy.
Oh, wow.
And then my mom is from Canada, so she's from there.
She's just Canadian.
She's just whatever.
Let's get back to your dad and his
Kidding.
family. What did you know your grandparents on your dad's side?
Yeah, so they moved over with him.
Okay.
The whole family came over from a small town in Italy called Cleto. And then they set up shop in Ottawa and, raised their kids in Canada. Had to learn
Was
English.
there a big Italian population there?
Yeah, in Ottawa, there's a place called Little Italy, which is pretty vibrant, but pretty close to Ottawa is Toronto and Sault Ste. Marie, and those have huge Italian populations. So it's not too much of a stretch.
So you had mentioned at the beginning about your dad in your relationship, especially with wrestling. Mm-hmm. Was he a fan of wrestling when he was a child?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, wow.
I think he watched it his whole life, if I'm not wrong. Hopefully, but
like,
yeah.
So even maybe when he was in Italy.
Yeah, I would think he did. I'm pretty sure he did at least. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I have a bunch of questions. Have you ever been back to where any desire to?
I definitely want to. I
Mm-hmm.
think our family owns a teeny tiny hotel in Cleto. There is not a lot of people there. It's a little city on a hill on a mountain. Mm-hmm. But I would love to go there. It just hasn't been in my cards yet.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, here's another ignorant question. Are all children like put on skates at a very early age in Canada?
Possibly, but I never did.
You never did?
I don't know how to skate.
Oh, you still don't know how to skate?
No, still to
Is
this
that
day.
like a black sheep, like in Canada?
Well, I think my siblings and we were raised on like soccer.
Okay.
So I think our focus was more on soccer than on like the traditional Canadian like hurrah hockey love.
Sure. Were your parents like did they push you not push you, but like into soccer? Were they big like supporters of that?
My dad definitely was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my mom was, but she was just there to like help us along with whatever we wanted to go after. But
your mom seems so boring in your story so far.
Oh my God! No.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking. I want to ask questions. I have some questions about her as well. I'm trying to create the big picture of Ava.
Yeah.
And so your mom grew up in that area?
Yeah, she comes from a family of 10 kids. So I have a lot of aunts and a lot of uncles and a lot of nieces and a lot of nephews.
What was the event that had the most of your family all in one place?
Well, actually, we would do family reunions every year at one of my aunt's houses that lived like out in the country. She had this beautiful house in Maniwaki that kind of looked over hills. And I remember when I was a little girl, I would like watch eagles fly by. And so every summer our family would get together and have like a giant family reunion. So any of those times really.
Yeah. Did you enjoy those things, or were they a pain when you were like a teenager?
No, I love them because I was like a little entertainer. I was always going around cracking jokes and trying to make my family laugh, or they were picking on me and then I would laugh at them. So like so
your family how would your family describe you? Is differently than your friends?
I don't know if they would describe me differently. I'd hope they would say I'm funny. Like I hope
Okay.
they would. And
Like you
I feel
weren't
like
bashful, were you?
I could be bashful, but I also could be really rambunctious. So I
Okay.
think
Well, there we
I
go. You're a bit of a troublemaker. We talked about that. So, what were your interests? Was soccer like a big part of your life when you were growing up?
yeah, growing up it was soccer, wrestling, of course,
Hmm.
and animals and music. I guess that was my core.
Okay.
Yeah.
What animals should that need to be concerned?
Nothing too concerning, but I was really well. My family always owned like cats or dogs, whichever growing
Sure,
up,
sure.
or hamsters. I really liked horses too. I obviously never owned a horse or anything, but
Yeah, no,
I
it's funny if you
just,
did.
I just liked being around animals a lot, and I think that's something that my whole family inherited because now we all have a bunch of animals. So
Do you like how far, like if you wanted to get away into nature, for example, from where you live, how far would you have to drive? Like into like quiet?
in Calgary, like an hour.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, because we have the Rocky Mountains right there, so it's not
Yeah,
very
yeah.
far.
Do you ski?
No, no, I did growing
Okay.
up a little bit, but I wasn't very good.
So you have an issue with frozen water. It seems my initial diagnosis. Okay, so what when did wrestling come into the picture?
I don't remember my exact age, like maybe 6 or 7
Okay,
or
single
7 or 8.
digits though.
Yeah, single digits.
Mhm.
So my dad's side of the family would always gather around in my grandmother's basement, and we would
Uh-huh.
always watch like wrestling pay-per-views together.
The men
And
and the women in your family?
yeah, the men and the women. Actually,
Okay.
my grandmother on my dad's side would be my Nona, and she was probably one of the biggest fans of all. She actually still watches it to this day. And I think I have like this theory that it's like one of those things where you don't need to speak English to understand what's happening because it's good versus bad when you're,
Yeah,
watching it play out on screen.
you can see the
Um,
story.
Exactly, and she never learned English, so I think it's just one of those things where she's able to digest it without having to work to understand it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but
How
yeah,
old is
so
she, if you don't
she's a
mind?
101.
No way. And she's does,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Does she live like alone?
uh,
Meaning like does she live unassisted?
yeah. She lives in her own home, and we do have a nurse living with her.
Wow.
So
To make
yeah,
it that long
I
and not
know.
be in like a home or something. Like that's wow, that's amazing. So she still watches.
Yeah, she still watches. I don't know if she watches as religiously as like we used
Hmm.
to growing up, but she definitely pays
Has
attention
she
here or there.
has she seen you wrestle?
I don't think she has.
Does she know you're a wrestler?
That I don't know. I should ask my brother.
Is it because you can't just like ask her that question and get an answer back?
Yeah, and I can't exactly be like, just look me up on YouTube, Nona.
Yeah,
Like,
totally, totally.
so I have to rely on other people taking the chance to show her.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to force anyone into that, but
So she's
I
never
think
been
she
to one of
has
your
seen.
shows. It's
No, no, she hasn't. Especially
okay.
during
So,
COVID, she hasn't left the house at all. But
oh, that's right. So down in the basement, everyone's watching wrestling. Do you remember what caught your eye for the first time?
it's really hard for me to unpack that memory because I do remember vividly watching my family watching wrestling and being like, I don't like this. Like, this is so boring. I just want to play with like Barbies or whatever I was doing at
Yeah,
that age.
totally.
But then I remember there was one time when I walked in and I was watching the screen and maybe there was like fire, maybe there wasn't. I don't know. But I remember I just was in awe. So I like to think it was probably Kane or the Brood, but either way, I got hooked at some point in that in that
And
living room.
like, was this something you would watch regularly, like on Monday nights?
Oh yeah,
And
I watched Sunday Night Heat. Yeah, I
oh
was
wow,
always.
was that was the one on MTV, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay,
I don't think
yeah, I'm a
so in
lot older
Canada.
than you. So,
I don't think Canada
um,
had MTV.
did what about your siblings? Did they were they into it as well?
My brother really was. He
Hmm.
was for quite a while, and then he fell off of it, and he like kind of dabbles here or there now. My
Hmm.
sister never got into
Okay. Three of you are sitting around,
it.
you're
Yeah.
drinking, maybe some tequila. Things get heated. Would you have any problem taking your brother or sister down to the ground if, in a playful, drunk kind of way?
Bold of you to assume that I haven't. Like that.
That's a great answer. That's a really great answer. Um, okay, so do you have like a circle of friends that watch wrestling at that point,
At
or do you have
my
to keep it
young
on the down low?
age, at that age, pretty much everyone was.
Mhm.
The Rock was hot, Austin was hot. It was
Yeah.
everywhere. You couldn't go to school without kids saying "suck it." It was just
Uh-huh.
it was the pinnacle of popularity at that time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there was nothing bashful about it. There was none of like, it's fake, right? At least in my life, because pretty much everyone I knew was watching it and loving
I
it
want to
too.
ask you a question. As a
Okay,
representative of females, do you
okay,
mind taking on
sure.
that? I know it's a lot. You probably didn't expect that tonight. Okay, so would you think, say you're in high school, maybe you're 14 or 15, would you think a boy watching wrestling would be weird or geeky?
Um, I mean, back then at 14 and 15, I was watching it, so I don't think I would have, but
Okay.
maybe other girls did. But I was right there watching it too, so I can't cast any stones.
I wish I grew up in Ottawa. Things would have been so much different for me. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
spent so much time alone. What kind of student were you?
In
Like, was
school,
that important to you? Yeah.
no, I was freaking terrible. I
Oh,
was.
terrible.
I skipped school more than I went.
Really? How'd you pull that off?
I didn't. I failed.
Oh, okay. You didn't do a good job at doing that.
Yeah. I think I got to a point where I didn't care anymore, and I found more happiness by skipping school and like going to record stores and listening to music. And I would skip and go to shows. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think I
Were
liked
your
English.
parents on board with that?
No.
That education style that
Yeah,
you were
no,
carving up?
no. I
And
did
was that
a
a source of like tension between?
Yeah, with my dad especially.
Okay,
I think coming from an immigrant background, he really wanted me to do good, get a good job, make something for myself, sort of thing,
sure.
because he worked 24/7 to provide a nice life for us. So, I think he did probably want that from me, but he didn't get it from me.
So,
Sorry.
but there was no like the hammer coming down, like you better get your grades, or stay,
I
go to
mean, I guess,
school.
yeah, I guess sometimes, but then I started like making sure I was home to answer the phone when they would notify, or like
Oh,
I would get my
see, that
friends
sounds stressful.
it was, or I would get my
Like that's
friends
a job.
to like call me in sick as my
Oh my
dad. Like,
God.
yeah.
So did you have any friends who like you could hang out with at least, like, go to a record store with people or?
Yeah, they all did the same thing as me. They
Oh,
all,
really?
yeah.
Oh, so that's nice though.
Yeah,
You get, I
yeah.
mean, you get to hang out with people like, as opposed to like being home and watching judge shows all day. Um,
Yeah.
but did so what was your plan? Like, did you have a plan like once
No.
I hit 18,
My
your
plan
parents
was
push
to
you out of the house?
my plan was to get out of high school and to
Okay.
never look back at it ever again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, and I had no plan after that. My parents didn't want me out of the house.
Okay.
I think that's probably like an Italian thing. Like it's just like family's everything, so you just always keep your family around.
Sure, sure.
Um, but yeah, I didn't have anything. I think I was lost for quite a while after that. Yeah.
Okay. Did you work at all?
Yeah, I just got like
Did-
full-time retail jobs, just like kind of
Okay.
doing what I could.
Okay. So going from working some retail jobs to pro wrestler, when did you start thinking that that was a viable like path for you?
I think I dreamt of it as a kid my whole life. I worshipped Lita in China, and I was just like, this is so cool. I want to be as cool as these girls.
Yeah.
And then I know I found a journal entry from when I was like 20 where I was writing about it too. And I was like, I'm going to move to Calgary and I'm going to train with Lance Storm and blah, blah, blah. And I just had like this dream in my mind. And then I did move to Calgary. Lance Storm did close his school, so I never got to go there. Or
Yeah.
well, I got
Wait,
to go there for
because you moved to Calgary?
No, that wasn't the
No, I'm
reason.
joking.
Because, but like,
It wasn't strictly
imagine.
because of you.
No. And yeah, and then I just kind of had a moment at one of my jobs where I was like, well, if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it. So
Yeah. So, all right, you have this. This is what I'm gonna do. What's the next move? Like you go online and Google wrestling schools?
yeah, I mean, there was a time when you would do that, and literally only Lance Storms came up because there
Oh
was like
yeah, I
nothing
bet.
out there.
Uh-huh.
But no, I followed the independent companies here in Calgary, and I saw that one of their main wrestlers, Michael Richard Blaze, was holding like a weekend seminar for beginners, like if you wanted to test the water sort of thing. And I kind of liked that to see if that would be a good enough experience to kind of sway me. Like, was it too hard and I give up, or do I just keep going? And then I ended up going and loving it. And then I kept going back to all these weekend seminars until I eventually did like a whole curriculum. I don't know.
Yeah. Like
Um,
like the whole package, or like
yeah.
all the volumes of that that encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So does your family know this is going on at the time?
Oh yeah, they knew. I have a
Okay,
very
and
open relationship with them. So yeah.
awesome. And were they like, this is really cool, or worried?
Yeah, I kind of find it funny because I feel like my mom is more proud of me doing this than she's ever been proud of me in my life. Like
Oh wow.
when I graduated from college, when I graduated from high school, like, yeah, good job, But like this, she's mind blown by it, and I love that. It's very sweet.
Have you let her wear you've the RCW Women's Championship?
Yes, yes,
Have
I
you let
do.
her wear it?
No, I haven't seen her since I've held it, but
Okay.
I should put it on her. That's funny. I should do that.
Now that I'm sorry, on this topic, have you worn it out anywhere? Like to dinner,
I
or watch
haven't.
like a movie with it on?
Um, yeah, I did watch stuff with it next to me on my couch because it's a beautiful piece of jewelry.
Okay, I'm gonna go one step well, it is. It's a little like piece of
Yeah.
art. I'm gonna go one step further, and maybe this is because I might do this. Did you ever like you're going to sleep and like put it on the pillow next to you and sleep with it?
No, but I do fasten its seatbelt when I'm driving. Like,
No, really? Oh, that's
yeah,
so funny.
she's
Have
special.
you done initially when you got it? Did you do like a lot of time in front of the mirror?
Um, Actually, no, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I should though.
So where do you keep it? Or you don't have to give me your address or anything. Just like, are there
um,
rules?
I mean, you want to be safe about it. You never want it to
Mhm.
go missing or anything. Usually if I'm at a show, it's with me completely. Like I don't let it leave my hands. Like even during intermission, I'm walking around with it.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah.
Did have you ever flown with it and then said to like the attendant, no, I have my own belt?
No, I have
No?
not.
Okay. All right.
No.
Let's get back to this. So you how did you pick your trainer?
Well, to be honest, Michael is by far one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He is intimidatingly good.
Did you have
And
any thoughts after the seminars of going anywhere else?
no,
Okay.
not a second in my mind. I mean,
Okay.
maybe for convenience sake, like if something was closer or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
but like if I could have it my way, I would be trained by him all the time. So
Yeah. And but was he more of a was he a disciplinarian, or Like, was he like barking at you constantly, or more like encouraging?
No, he's very encouraging. Like he'll push
Okay.
you, which I think, everyone needs, to
Mm-hmm.
go past their own boundaries in their mind. But
Sure.
he's very supportive, and I think he meets students at a level um, where you're able to relate to him, and then you're like,
Mm-hmm.
how am I relating to him? He's such a good wrestler, and like I just started. But it's
Yeah.
like he's able to speak very humbly from how he started, and then you see yourself in that story, and then that makes you want to try. So yeah.
So did you have like a formal like start to training after all the seminars you went to? Was there like a day one?
I did do like 3 months with a company, and then I also would just like go up to his school all the time, and I still do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Did you have any nerves early on going to
Yeah,
these things?
I'm a ball of nerves all the time, brother.
Oh, really? Do you remember if you were able to sleep the night before the first time you trained?
I think I barely slept. And then I remember after the first day of training, I slept like a freaking rock. I was out.
R-
Out.
So, do you have any time like during the training? Do they give you any like free time to like screw around in the ring and try different things, or is it all like very formal?
Yeah, I guess there's like some free time, like maybe near the end where they're obviously watching, or like they'll ask like, what do you want to learn or something like that, obviously within reason.
Mm-hmm.
But
What
yeah,
was
I
the
think
hardest thing?
um I always say my confidence is my hardest thing.
Mhm.
But then also like my front bumps. I'm scared
You,
all the
oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you think that'll ever change?
I think it can. Yeah.
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 Um. So had you? Oh, prior to the seminars and such, had you ever been in a wrestling ring before?
I did one little weekend thing with Lance Storm once.
Okay.
So I actually remember even touching the ring was like such a euphoric moment
Oh, really?
where
Like you touch it and
where
step back?
I was just like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be allowed to touch this. So but other than that, yeah.
Did anyone like take any of the like your the fellow trainees or people who've been trained through there take you under their wing like early on?
Yeah, quite a few of the people that I was taught by or wrestled with at that time were
Hmm.
pretty good to me. Like Zoe was there, and now her and I face off. Like Zoe Steger, her and I face
Hmm.
off quite a bit in the ring.
Hmm.
I started with a girl named Gigi Ray, and she moved to Texas, and now she's making waves. So I think I was really surrounded by really motivated people, which in turn was motivating for me.
And was that ever difficult, like like asking the questions, or were you very like, if you had it, you would ask and not be
Um,
intimidated?
no, I was very intimidated.
Oh, really? Did
Yeah.
you did you ever get past? Did you get past that?
Um, I think now I have, yeah. I think at the
Okay.
time, like, I don't know, you just don't want to be wrong or ask a stupid question, but then also you're
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
do good. And you just saw my Ninja Turtle pajama pants, but
Yeah, totally.
it's
My
totally
kids would
fine.
love this. Um, so when do you start thinking about your character? Or is that something you started thinking about when you would see Lita and China and stuff?
Yeah, I think I used to create myself in all the wrestling games.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and I had an idea, but I think the idea of a character is forever evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I went into it with one idea, but it's just kind of grown on its own as I like get to know myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think
Is
it's
that fun being able to create that?
I think so. I think
Mm-hmm.
finding what's natural to you and what makes you feel most confident is an exciting learning experience.
Yeah, yeah. Um, oh, real quick, does it burn? Like, how do you dye your hair? Like, do you have to like bleach it first and then put color in?
Yeah,
And
I
does it
do.
burn?
Yes, it does.
It burns?
Yeah, I mean a little, not too bad.
But how long how often do you have to do it?
I try to do it at least once a month.
Oh,
So
okay. So it's not like weekly.
no,
So,
no.
because I do like the color very much.
Thank
Um,
you.
so, um, your first match, do you tell someone, "Hey, I think I'm ready," or do they say to you, you have your first match tonight or tomorrow or next weekend?
No, Mike threw me in a match, and there I was.
Okay, so were you nervous about that too?
Oh yeah, I'm nervous before every match all the time.
Do you know the movie? Was it Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage?
I don't know it. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm a lot older. Well, it's one of these things where like he throws up if he doesn't drink.
Hmm.
Okay. So I always wonder like if like it's just like you'll ever get past that. You just get, nerves before your matches, and that's gonna be the way it is.
Hmm. Well, there's that quote that if you're not nervous, you don't care. So,
Oh yeah. And
um,
did you feel you were ready?
I don't know. I think he wouldn't have pushed me out there if he didn't think it was time for me to at least try.
But
Um,
did you
so
think that yourself at the time though?
yeah, I think maybe I was kind of chomping at the bit, like waiting for the opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah, I think you're never going to know exactly what a live audience is like until you're in front of them. So
Mm-hmm.
you can have matches at the school all you want, but until you feel that crowd and until you're able to hear them and what they say, you'll never really know.
So did when you were told you have your first match, like was it that day or you had a little time?
Oh, I actually don't remember. I
The
don't think it was
the
that day.
Okay. So can you remember if like you slept the night before or if you ate it all the morning of?
I didn't eat. I don't know
You de-
about sleep, but I didn't eat.
Now, was that just because you of nerves, or like did you personally not want to eat on the day of your match?
I would say nerves, but even now I don't eat very much on days that I wrestle.
Uh-huh.
Just because like I don't like feeling like bloated or too full or whatever, so I try to keep it pretty light.
So did you drink like lots of water?
Yes, for sure. I drink
Do
tons of
you have to go to
water
the bathroom a bunch?
constantly.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way. It's. I think spend more time with my toilet than my kids sometimes. I got to give. It just goes to show you have to give up water.
Yeah.
Um, well, I guess you'll die actually
Well,
if you do that. I'm just.
this wouldn't be called toilet side wrestling
Yeah,
talk
that's
without
true. But I'm not in the bathroom anymore. That's the problem.
a shame.
I'm still working on that. Do you feel Okay, well, let me move back. Do you remember your first match?
Yeah, you just showed it.
No, but I mean, do you remember, like when you were watching it, like do you remember everything that happened?
No, I don't remember everything that happened. I remember like more pivotal moments, but
Hmm.
otherwise it was just a blur.
And
Yeah.
it was like, could you think of anything else, or were you just concentrating on like
Oh.
not screwing up, or
That was the only thing on my mind for the entire week.
oh,
So,
really? And then when you
yeah.
got back, after the match, did people say, "Hey, you did a great job"?
Yeah, I think people are always going to give pointers and whatnot, but it felt like such a success in general that it even happened.
Hmm.
So I think I was just really high off of that feeling.
Yeah, yeah. What's your day of uh, match routine?
It's funny because like I actually don't really have much of a routine, and I'm always told that like it's better to get you kind of in the state of mind.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I am definitely very like particular with my matches. Like I will go over them a million times, and I'll be like very nervous, like I said, up until
Uh-huh.
the curtain, and then I lose all nerves once I go through the curtain. Um, but I don't
When
really
did that
necessarily.
happen? How long into it did that happen?
Oh, that was kind of from the get-go. I think I hear my opening music and I just turn into the person I need to be, I
Wow.
think. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I never question that part. I'm always like, I
Yeah.
can't wait. Just get me out there so I can get
So
over it.
now do you hear like the audience when you're wrestling
Oh
and
yeah.
like
Yeah.
kind of listen how like, you know, how they are and is wrestling it's really popular in Canada, correct?
Yeah, I think in certain hubs it's very popular. Obviously, we're really spread out, so
Yeah.
it could be better, but yeah.
But so had you been to like, you know, WWE shows and indie shows before you were wrestling?
Yeah, my dad used to take me and my brother to them as kids.
Uh-huh.
And then when I moved to Calgary, I went to independent shows and like WWE shows all the time.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was constantly surrounded by it.
How far is Calgary from where you grew up?
It's about a 4-hour plane ride.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
Did you go home at all?
When I first moved to Calgary, I went home quite a bit. Like I would go home like once or twice a year, but
Uh-huh.
since COVID, I haven't been home in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. Are things still pretty strict up there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's horrible. Where I work, 9 of our residents tested positive today. It's
Oh my gosh,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, but anyways, okay, let's get back to this. What to somebody who is thinking about going into wrestling, what's the best part, in your opinion, in and your experience of being a pro wrestler?
I personally feel the best part of it is getting the crowd to feel a certain way. I think whether they love you or they hate you, having that type of energy, like everybody in the room and everybody in the ring will feed off of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I think creating those memories with people is like the most rewarding part. Like I definitely have a bunch in the back of my mind of like moments
Yeah.
where I felt something when I was in the audience and moments when I
Uh-huh.
felt something when I was in the ring. So I think
Have
making the
you
memories.
ever fans stop you? Like outside, you know, outside of wrestling?
Not too much. I
Because your
mean, they'll
hair
stop
is
me
pretty
when I'm working.
identifiable.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, yeah, that's
You know what?
true.
I have some old people that I work with who would flip out if you showed up, because we watched a little bit as part of my research
Hmm.
at work, and oh man, they love that. It opened up a
Well,
whole world of possibilities of things I can start showing that, you know, like
I love
Andre the Giant
Chicago,
doc. What
so
was
don't
that?
count it out. I love Chicago, so don't count it out.
Yeah, you should. That would be great.
I know,
You
Warrior
could beat me up
Wrestling.
in front of them. You know, they'd love it.
Anytime, anytime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Okay. What's the worst thing?
The worst thing is it's mentally really tough, you know.
Hmm.
You get down on yourself, you have to remember a lot. I mean, you'll constantly hear about what you need to do better. And you know, there's going to be people who experience more than you get to,
Hmm.
and you just have to be able to kind of silence those voices and keep after your own goals and your own dreams. So
Hmm.
I think
It's,
the hardest part for sure is like turning the rest of it off and being able to focus.
yeah, and just like do the wrestling. Did
Yeah.
did you feel like and when I say you, I mean like pro wrestlers, but and specifically you, is it like do you feel like you're competing even against like your friends for spots and stuff?
Yeah, it's weird because it's like um, it takes two people, but there's only one championship or there's only one, you know,
Yeah.
person at the top. But I think if you're able to tell like a really good story and if you're able to really make people feel, then everyone's a winner in that end. In the end.
When you won your belt, did you do anything like to celebrate it or recognize it that evening?
I ate pizza.
Uh,
Yeah.
you ate that was your big celebration. Were you alone?
No, I
Eating?
wasn't alone.
Did you use the belt as a plate?
No, because I don't want to put grease on her.
I know. Oh, she's female.
Of
This
course
belt.
she is. She's beautiful.
Oh, because I've only seen the outside. I haven't seen behind, so I wasn't sure if it was male or female. To be
Hmm.
perfectly honest with you,
Yeah.
has it Has it like affected your outside the ring life dramatically?
No, I think all my friends who don't wrestle were really happy for me, and I think maybe it made people who weren't really taking me seriously be like, "Oh, wait a minute, like
Yeah.
she's actually trying to do this or something like that." But otherwise, I'm still regular old me.
So and does everyone in your family know that you're a pro wrestler?
Uh, yeah. Yeah, my dad's side knows, and then my mom's side is like very, very supportive and outgoing and excited for me. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Um, Ava, we've learned a lot. And
Yes.
this evening, I've learned a lot about ice skating in Canada, just everything, how far it is to get away from the city. Before I let you go, can I ask you 5 non-wrestling related questions? Just yes or no's. You don't
Of
have to
course.
say anything beyond that. You're good with
Yes.
that? How
Yes.
old were you, by the way, when you got your first tattoo? This isn't one of the
Uh,
questions.
19, 20?
And what's the longest you had to sit? Not had to. What was the longest you sat for?
I think the longest I've ever sat for was like maybe 3 hours. So not too bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here are the questions. 1, can you make your own alcohol?
No, I don't drink.
Okay, perfect. Are you afraid of people from Montana?
No, Montana's right below me.
Okay, good answer. It's fine.
Yeah.
For this is the most money I've offered ever. So I'm gonna do it right now. For $67 million, would you never shower again except get someone like hosing you off once a week?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been attracted to a cartoon character?
Yes.
Okay. And finally, is it safe to say you've never slept on stairs? Not passed out, slept.
I don't think I've slept on stairs.
Perfect.
No, I don't think I.
Stop right there, because in case there's a part 2, we can do the big reveal for that
Okay.
last one. If you've ever,
Sure.
so no one knows if Ava has ever slept on the stairs. We'll find out one day, hopefully.
One day.
Where are you wrestling next?
I'm wrestling this Friday for RCW, defending
Oh,
my belt.
nice.
My
Defending
belt.
your defend. Was it like was it humbling when you won? Because you're pretty young.
Yeah, it was humbling. It was exciting. It was I don't know, the crowd just really, really amped me up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was great.
So okay, last question, I'm sorry. How do you hold your championship? Above your head like that? Do you wear it around your waist?
I'm a shoulder girl.
Shoulder girl. All right. Well, yeah, that's from that's the days that you were watching wrestling. That was the big
There's just
thing.
some swag to it. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it, especially on a Tuesday evening. I know how valuable those can be. I am gonna go get yelled at by my wife for why is this taking you so long. But I wish you health and happiness in 2022, and hopefully we can talk again.
Thank you. Sounds great.
All right, Ava, you take care.
You too.
All right, bye.